I love the smell of it.
Hello and blessings, beautiful souls. I'm just smudging. Anna's smudging as well. We're smudging from you know, both sides of the world, so you're really getting a solid hit of Palo Santo right now. Palo Santo, for those who don't know, is holy wood, sacred holy wood. This is what I need in my life right now. Now, also because we are being creative, being that we are bone stoners, we are being creative. That's a thing now. Hey, if you're a bone stoner, that means you're hardcore. You're hardcore earth-centric witch. That's what a bone stoner is. I'm going to submit that to the Urban Dictionary, in fact. Actually, someone submit it for me, because if I had time to do that, then I'd be laughing, but I have no time in my life right now. And so I have got, this is from the Moon Box. This is awesome. This is dragon's blood with white sage. Like, can I just try not to set my my table on fire? There we go. All right. So we've got a really good mix of herbs there. Anna, would you like to anoint yourself with any sacred oils? I'm going to be anointing myself with Lilith's potion today, because this is literally, not to be crass, this is the tits.
I'm just gonna. I will take my crystal with me, but I'm not going to. I don't have the. They're in the other room, so I have this beautiful. This is my favorite crystal.
Oh, I've got my little one.
I always
here
have
as
it
well.
on my table here, and it just has a lot of nice energy.
I like it. I like it.
I should really give it a name because it has a personality. So.
I love it. I love it. Well, beautiful souls, thank you so much for bearing with me. I'm a bit late today because my son is at home unwell, and my daughter, my youngest daughter, who is usually at nap time, is failing to sleep. She doesn't want to sleep. She's an Aries. I can't make her do anything.
That's not
full stop. So we are here. We're a little bit late. I'm going to be munching on camera at appropriate times. I'll mute the mic, I promise, but I haven't had breakfast yet. And so I'm having a dark chocolate and Carmen's bar with espresso in there, with coffee beans crunched in there. So I'm trying to get a caffeine hit, and I've also got a cup of tea over here. It is a beautiful, beautiful day today. I would love to tell you what the moon is doing. It was in waxing in Virgo yesterday. Shout out to Alora, who is the coolest Virgo. I know. But I just wanted to say it's important. Oh, no, it's still in Virgo. Yeah. I didn't know what stage of Virgo it was in. But it's 14.9% in Virgo. So we've got a very detailed oriented earth moon, which is going to be interesting. And probably very, very good for designing the suit of swords. It'll keep us grounded in the sense of earth, but because it's detailed oriented and the swords are a very analytical, you know, processing type of suit, then we're under a good moon. And that just happened by, you know, serendipity. You know, we're very blessed here at Bonestone. Anna brings her magical fire. I bring whatever it is I bring. I'm not sure.
You have a lot of earth and you have air too.
It's true. It's true. Actually, if you were to look at my chart, here's a funny story. Most people class me as an earth-centric person. I class myself as an earth-centric person. But if you were to look at my chart, I am 100% dominated by fire. Leo and Aries specifically, 100%. I literally have three signs, actually, that are not very Leo and Aries. Interesting. Anyways, enough about me. This is about the deck that we're creating, the Bonestone and Earth Flesh. So we launched last fortnight. I'm exhausted. Can you see this? I have had no sleep. We launched last fortnight. For those who don't speak British English, that was 2 weeks ago. And that was phenomenal. And I haven't yet caught up with what I need to do there because it's just me. And I had no idea that things were going to go as fast and as quick. Fast and quick are the same words. I realize this, but just the nature of it. It was like very Age of Wands. It was like 100% full on action. It was chomping at the bit action. If that had have been a storefront, people would have trampled each other to try and get in. That's how I felt. Like, that's the energy that I was feeling. Not that anyone was being like tramply towards another person, but just the sheer voracious nature of the thirst that I witnessed is just like, that's how I feel when I want to buy a tarot deck. That's how I feel. And then to have others in the space in that same exact mind space, oh, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I'm down to 60 decks now. There's 60 decks. Sorry, I'm still chewing. And we're just going strong, and things are moving beautifully for Bonestone. But we have reveals for you today. You would have seen Anna's awesome creation. So she's finished off. She's completely finished off the minors, and then we have a special reveal. And then, of course, we started on the mainers. Thank you. Sleep deprived. Thank you. We have a special reveal to do with the majors, and then we have also put a start, and we'll be revealing the Ace of Swords, and then moving to design some of those early sword cards. So we're talking the 2 of Swords, the 3 of Swords, and potentially the 4 of Swords, depending on how we go for time. I'm going to be pulling a special guest in at some point as well, because this person was instrumental in one of the very, very special majors cards. So I just wait for that. Let's just all wait for that. All right. So Anna, I'm going to hand over to you now so I can eat my muesli bar.
Okay. All right, everybody. So we are done with the Mage Arcana. I'm very excited about it, and nervous at the same time. So I'm going to go over the cards from the Arcana that we just finished. And as you know, last time we tackled the Chariot and also the Sun card. So those are, I mean, I posted them on the Facebook group, but I'm also going to show them to you. So I'm going to start off with, the Sun card. Okay. So here is the Sun card in its full glory. I'm going to try and see myself so I can actually see where you can see. All right. Okay, so that's the full card. And obviously there is no baby and there is no horse. We took out the baby. The baby is gone.
The baby is gone. It really is gone.
He's not in timeout. He is somewhere. Somewhere. And
the baby was
right
naughty.
now,
we put him in the naughty corner.
The adults are having fun here, right? So we have the dance of the maypole. You can see the pole in the middle, and we're bringing in the sun energy. The sun itself with its rays is actually becoming part of the maypole dance. The rays of the sun are now, they're cut and they are transforming into the ribbons, and you get the sense of the joy and the exuberance of this card and what it means. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see it. Can you see it? Is it, well, Avalon? I can't see myself.
I can.
Right,
sorry, I had a mouthful of muesli bar. I can see it. It's fabulous. Isn't it fabulous, people?
So
please comment in the comment section if you think that this is a 10 out of 10 sun card. Like, if you're there with me, and I'm biased, I know, so I need some confirmation here, but if you do not think that that's one of the best sun cards you have ever seen, taking a totally different approach, like, I mean, like, pats on the back there. Pats on the back. Sorry to talk with my mouth full. I'm multitasking.
Yeah, because the sun card is not about the baby or the sun. Like, if you know, take the Christian approach and the Son of God and all that. It's not about that. The Sun card is about the beauty, the feeling of joy, the happiness, the completion that comes with it. And that is why we chose this scenery. That is why we're in the energy of the sun, literally. We're bringing it in. And it should not be personified by one particular individual, at least not in this deck. So no baby. For those of you who were worried about the baby. All right, our next card up is the Chariot. And the Chariot, you have the gypsy leading the caravan. And she is determined. There's one horse, and she is in charge of the horse. The speed of the caravan is not a fast-moving horse. It's not about the speed. It's about how you guide the horse, how you manage it, and how you control it. So it's also about this our internal direction and how we choose to get ourselves on that path. And here are she's walking. Obviously she's guiding the way, and she has this big caravan behind, right? So with all this stuff in it, right? Her whole life is in there. And so she's traveling, and there's also, if you can kind of see, there's so you can kind of see the people inside. There's vaguely kind of make out some shapes and some figures. So she's not alone. She is in charge, perhaps, of her family. She's in charge, making sure that this caravan is getting to a safe place. And that's how we went about it. It's a very colorful card. And it's all about the determination. You can kind of see, I'm going to kind of go a little closer here. See how it will not blur out. Her determination and her strength kind of show through. So that is the Chariot card.
I have to also say that Anna was very instrumental in the creation of that particular card. Anna is Romanian, and she was able to give me a very good cultural context, because it's very easy to romanticize what you don't understand and what you don't have experience with just from, an outside perspective. Like, we see the concept of the boho gypsy and the caravan and, the colorful clothing, but we don't exactly necessarily, all of us, and I certainly didn't understand exactly, the layers that were in there, the layers. And so initially when I said, oh yes, she's in the gypsy caravan, back horseback, 2 horses, blah, blah, blah. And Anna pulled me up and said, well, actually their entire home is in a caravan. And so they're not going to be going very fast. And most of the time they're not sitting on the back of the horse because they're not going very fast. They lead it very gently because their entire life and their entire content is in that gypsy caravan. And I just had to stop and really, thank Anna for that, because it was just an absolute delight to hear that from a very interesting and unique perspective to my own, and a perspective that is well grounded in the cultural context of the concept of the gypsy and the Romanian aspect of it. So that was one of the nicest experiences that I had, because when I thought I wanted to have a gypsy caravan, I thought this is going to be awesome, because Anna's I knew she'd have some freaking wisdom for me in that. So I just have to put that out there. Her awesomeness is not just art.
Always, they're not, it's not like you see the card, where the horses are all flying in different directions. It's not like that. They're not sitting there. It's not a race for them, It's more of a steady pace, and sometimes they're going on the same streets where cars are going. So, and you don't have the same roads like you do in the West, like wide roads. There's these tiny, there's like dirt roads. So there's a dirt road, you go slow. It's like a carriage pretty much. So.
See, and you don't know that until somebody tells you, or until you've seen it for yourself, or if you are of that ilk. It's just so fabulous. It's so fabulous to me. And it throws into sharp relief that broadly, what is it called? YouTube video, the sort of piece, the informational piece on the 3 Romanian witches. Anna and I talked about this ages ago, but if you haven't seen this yet, go and check it out. It's Romanian witches. It's a broadly broadcast, and you'll really enjoy it, I feel. Anyways, but I digress. Back to you, Anna.
Okay, so that's it. That's the major arcana. We're done.
That means it's time for me to bring in my special guest. So
Yes.
let me just call this this person in, this awesome individual in. I've just got to do the zhuzhing behind the scenes. It's a lot. Like, to post a link, it's just like so much hard work. I've got to close so many windows in order to do it. It's not actually hard, it's fiddly. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's better. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for this gorgeous soul to grace us with their presence, and then we've got a really big reveal for you. So for those guys, I call everything a really big reveal because I'm dramatic. I'm a dramatic person. If you haven't understood that about me already, I'm very dramatic. And woohoo!
Hey.
Here she is. So for those who have purchased this deck already, who are backing it, who've pre-ordered it, who have just, you know, made my life dreams come true by doing so, I want you to know that the Bonestone is now a 79 card deck. So there are 79 cards to the Bonestone now. I'm not sure where she is. What happened to you, Alora? Where are you, Alora? She's glipping
like,
here. She's like, what's going on? I'll just go and check. Where are you? We can't see you. There we go. That's what I'm typing. Can't see you. Okay. Actually, that message sounds a bit obnoxious. It's a good thing. It's just to her. Where are you? We can't see you. There was an exclamation mark. I use a lot of exclamation marks because that's how I talk. Ah, like, hey. It's a thing. It's a thing. Oh my God, what are we writing? Oh yes, what? yes. I'm just reading. Wait.
It says she joined.
Oh God.
You're moving now. You're moving. Good. That's a good sign.
Yes, I can see you. I can see you.
Okay, because I can't see the chat or anything. And yes, can we bring Chase into this?
Yes. I only just saw that. He's like, wait. I only just scrolled up and saw it. So Chase, put your makeup on. Put the power bar down.
Avalon, you locked the camera on me.
Put your hat on because it will cover your sunburn.
Wait, there she is.
Okay, we're not stuffing you around, guys. There is literally a purpose to this. We want to show you in the true spirit of how this came about, this little creation came about. And I've got to say, I may even have shed my yearly tear. I allocate myself a certain amount of cry time a year, and I literally feel like I reached my quota of cry when this happened. That was my cry time. Usually, like, I cry on the inside, and that doesn't count. Like, it has to be a single glistening tear come down my face. Yeah, that was a single glistening tear.
Yeah, okay. So when Chase gets in here and we start talking about this, you're going to hear what my whole goal was, and it was accomplished. Just so you know.
It was so accomplished. And
You're
I tell
very
you what,
determined woman, Laura. You're a very determined woman. I must say that.
indeed, you've got to give it to it for that. And I've got to say, I have never properly been ambushed on social media before. Like, I was literally, like, I was ambushed. There was, like, outside assistance, like, weird stuff was happening to me in my physical. My mother-in-law was here, my friend was here, and there was some weirdness going on, and I was so confused. I was trying to get to the supermarket, and I was so confused. I'm like, no, I can't meet today because I'm, you know, I've been doing all this emailing in the morning and all this writing, and now I've really got to go to the supermarket because we've run out of stuff. No, I can't. I'm out the door. And then somebody walks through the door, and I'm just like, oh, so I guess I'm not going to the supermarket right away.
Oh, Case is on.
Am I here?
Yeah.
I can't
You're
see
here.
anything though.
What?
Well, that's not important. We can see you.
Okay. Well, hi everyone. Hello. I had to put down the food and put on a shirt.
You have to put down food? Never.
I know.
Okay, so I was right
I
about
made
the
some bomb
food,
pizza though.
wrong about the makeup, but the makeup can be confused with the shirt. And did you have your hat on already, or did you put it on?
No, I had to put it on. Nobody wants to see this sunburned forehead.
Okay.
And that's how well I know you. So funny. All right, well, I've got nothing more that I can say about this. I'm handing it over to these 2, 3, 8 million awesome people, and I'll explain to you exactly what happened. So I'll mute my mic, and you guys can just take it away. Take it away.
Take it away, Alon.
Okay. Well, I'll start. So we have gotten the wonderful pleasure and experience of watching Avalon behind the scenes with this deck and seeing all of the emotions that go into making a deck. And sometimes, you know, it's exciting, but it's also stressful, and sometimes, you know, the creative juices aren't flowing right. And so we got to see all that. And so when her deck was going to be pre-launched, we wanted to do something really special for her to show her how proud we were of her. And so I went to Anna and I told her that we wanted to ambush her and do a live stream. And then Anna came up with another awesome idea, which was to make a card of Avalon to go in the Bonestone deck. So when she said that, I was flipping out and I was like, oh my God, that's perfect. And so then I brought Chase in on it and said, hey, you know, what do you want to do? And he was all about it. And then somehow Anna said, you should get Aaron, who is Avalon's best mate over there, involved to do something for her there. So then I talked to Chase and we decided to have a bottle of wine delivered for her. And but the ambush part of this was difficult because we were trying to balance 2 continents, and Avalon is super busy. And so we, you know, there was never a good time really. So Chase was not there for the original reveal, but the way that this went was after Anna came up with the card idea, she started sketching and then she started putting color to it. And Chase had the honor of naming the card, and then I had the honor of writing out the description, and Anna drew it amazingly. And so Anna, why don't you go ahead and show the card, and Chase, you talk about how you came up with the name of it.
Okay. Here we go. You guys ready? Take it away, Chase.
All right, so I literally can see nothing. I can't see anything. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but I can't see anything. So I hope that I'm in the frame somewhere, and I can't see what you're holding up. So I've seen the card before, though. But so really kind of what Alora and I did, we kind of brainstormed together, and then you know, I had an original name. I wanted to name it the Bone Thrower, but to match the idea of the deck, you know, the Bonestone and Earthflesh idea. But the design was more geared towards Bruja, and I couldn't get that out of my head. And I sat on it, and I sat on it, and I sat on it, and you know, we throw that term around a lot, and so I just thought it would be very fitting for her. And you know, the fact that it all came together, and I was super sad that I had to miss. I can't remember where I was. Was I at a base? I think I was probably more than likely at a baseball tournament, but I missed the initial launch of it, and I wanted to see Avalon cry. And I'm not gonna lie, Alora and I had ideas the whole time. We were like, what is going to make her cry? We want to see this woman cry. So everything that we did, we were like, cry for me. And it came together so well and so beautifully. And I mean, your art is just, it's so good. It's just so good. It's so good.
Thank you.
Pause off my artist. Pause off my artist face.
So
hey, Avalon, turn the camera on Anna. Like, click on her box. So.
Okay, just click on my box.
Click on her box. Take that any way you want.
For those of you who are wondering, yes, this is Avalon, and we have her holding the Temperance card from the Bonestone. Right there. And the way that, and in front you have a couple of the cards. There's Strength, wait, on the opposite, Strength card, the World card, and the Justice card. They're all there. And this was to resemble the Magician card that was done, which I should have had, but I don't have right now by me. So, and the scenery for the Magician is the same. You have the, he has like his apothecary behind him. But here we have her jars with her handwritten labels, and the wand with feathers that she has usually, and a bone necklace, and you can't, let's see, maybe she can see it. There is a bone ring right there. So that is the 79th card. And did you want to read a little bit from this?
I think, Avalon, you wanted me to read a little bit, yeah?
Yes, please. Just a little bit.
Okay, so I'll read you the part where Avalon just boo-hooed. So this card has a longer description, but the part where Avalon kind of lost it was when it says, when the Bruja appears in your reading, she brings a message of daring surrender. She asks you to shed your ego, strip down to your soul, and dare to be authentic in seeking change. The Bruja is a diviner and is an advocate for the seeker in times of unassured footing. When you feel the ground is falling out from beneath you, seek her out and she will hold your hand through the path of thorns. She holds the map and torch while offering help to those willing to help themselves. She holds the Temperance card in her hand, reminding you that self-improvement, empowerment, and reflection take time, and that to receive, you must be willing to sacrifice. The Bruja harnesses the energy of the divination tool and taps into the realms of the unseen and brings forth divine guidance. And so that made tears.
It's true.
Yeah, we had Erin go over and not let her leave the house. We told her to turn down because she was getting ready to leave, and we couldn't get her to sit still. And we told Erin to go on her computer and pretend like she had to do something and for her to log on.
And there is video of this that that will be posted shortly, because we did record it, but it wasn't public.
It was so funny. And then they gifted me a beautiful bottle of red, and I think that it was exactly 11:45 in the morning, and I was literally smashed by 12.
You drank the whole bottle.
I just like, it was so good.
She was like, she said, Erin, get a glass.
Guess who did not go shopping that day? But that is exactly how that happened. So I had a beautiful surprise, a beautiful gift, and I've got to say that it blew me away. Like, I was just like, oh my God, I don't even, like, I don't even believe this. Like, I just don't even believe this. And then, and my whole life I've wanted to make a tarot deck. And then all of a sudden I went one step further and I'm in a tarot deck. I went from making one to being in one. And I'm like, well, there's a life goal that I didn't even know that I wanted, but I want it. And now it's awesome. And so I think I will continue to, in future decks, add the witch. She may not always look like me, but she will definitely be there, because I think that it would make a tremendous addition to the Arcana.
And now you're going to make
so that now we're going to show the now we're still we are showing one more card, right? Yes.
We have one more card to show, folks. We have one more card, and that is because you guys voted for the suit of swords. I'm so tired. Okay, let me get with it. When we asked what suit you wanted us to begin with, so we'd completed the majors and we were moving on to the minors, and of course you have to pick a place to start. So we chose a suit. Everyone said swords, because apparently swords is a favorite among favorites, right? So being that Anna's favorite suit is swords, my favorite suit is the swords. Everybody's favorite suit is the swords, yeah?
Yes.
This is a harrowing ordeal. A delicious one, but a harrowing one too, because there are so many expectations. So many, just so many people. Like, there are those that are like, oh my God, the Three of Swords, the Three of Swords, the Three of Swords, the Nine of Swords. What about the Eight of Swords? I mean, the Eight of Swords is one of my favorites. The Three of Swords is one of my favorites. So I get it. But of course, I'm going to create this from my heart and my soul. And my heart and my soul are very dark places. And I think that you will see just how dark both my heart is and Anna's.
So, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords ready.
Which is a lovely card. The ace is not dark.
No, it's not. No, not at all. Okay, so when we talked a little bit about it at the last brainstorming. So I'm not sure which part you guys missed, but in any case, here is the Ace of Swords, and it is a feather. It is the king. What's the name of the bird again? King. I keep forgetting it.
It's a kingfisher.
Kingfisher. Yes, the kingfisher.
Yeah.
It's a kingfisher feather. And if you don't know it, it's a beautiful blue bird, and it has this gorgeous tealy blue color with some black in it. But it's not just a feather. So because the suit of Swords deals with the mental aspect of consciousness and the mind, we felt that blending those two, blending that within the swords, it would be the best way to go for this card. And here, I'm going to do a little zoom in. The feather is actually a sword. You can see the middle of it. So you have the hilt of the sword, and the tip of the feather is a pen that speaks to the mind and the
adage
balance,
of the pen is mightier than the sword.
So here, in the intellect, yeah. And also, we're trying to keep the color tone is like this blue tone, and you know, the atmosphere, tried to bring in the atmosphere of air, just to keep that consistent. So this is the Ace of Swords.
Yay!
Yay!
I've got to tell you, it's difficult to see just the awesome detail and also the color of the feather. But
Yeah.
when Anna puts this up, then in the Bonestone group, you will be able to see just how beautifully, just perfectly feathery it is. And I encourage you to look up a kingfisher. It's an Australian bird, and they're beautiful. They're very regal animals, and they just have that gorgeous feather. And then we played around with the idea of the sword and the pen being mightier than the sword, the intellect, the concept of air. So it's all in there, but in a very gentle and a very simple way. So I think that we were able to capture that ace, you know.
I do want to say something that, okay, so because we have been posting all these images at fairly high resolution, not high resolution, but fairly clear, and we don't usually have watermarks on them so you guys can see what they look like, especially on the Facebook page. You know, there are cases when somebody could snag all the images and just, you know, go wild and do a deck with it. And it has been done before. It's been done on my decks. So unfortunately, things like this happen. And because of that, just so you're aware, this will be done with knowledge and on purpose. Sometimes one of the cards will be very low res. Like I will post it very tiny and very low res. Not all of them, but one occasionally, because that way nobody can print the deck because they won't have all the images. Because you can't print a deck without having, say, an ace or you know, all the cards. If one is just totally like this big, so we will, because some people are not that honest and they can, you know, snag things off the internet, and it's unfortunate, but you got to protect yourself somehow. It's this,
it's
or
a real thing.
Yeah, or placing a very huge watermark on the image, and then you won't be able to really see clearly what's going on.
Yeah, it's a bit of you know, obviously we show the cards here and we try to give you the best that we can, and then we put the high res up for you guys to see as well, and, you know, share around and all that sort of stuff. But what we're trying to do is interrupt the flow of high resolution images. If there's 78 high resolution images, that's easier to snag off the internet, reprint, and then, you know, make money off it. And it happens all the time. It happens to most people's decks. In fact, there are people over in some deep and dark part of Europe that are literally cranking out subpar versions of other people's, you know, very successful decks. And so what we're doing is just going to interrupt it a little bit. So you're going to have maybe a low res ace, you might have a low res 8, you know, we're just going to throw a few low res cards in there just to avoid, you know, that being an issue. So just know that that's been done on purpose.
We're not going to have copyrights on the cards when they're printed.
That's right. That's right. And that's another thing too. People have been seeing the cards, right? The uploaded images that Anna have been putting up, and she has her Anna Turian next to it. You know, that's part of her copyright process as she's sharing the images out on the internet. Okay, so just know that. Just know that too. Yay! Now, I would like to say a super amounts of thank you to Alora and Chase and Anna for like ambushing me in such a wicked way. Like, that's legit phenom, as Erin would say. And Alora, if you could please, you and Chase, obviously, could you please just post a little bit of that paragraph, you know, on the Bonestone page so that people can have a little bit of a see. Anna's going to post the photos of it and everything. And I have to thank you from the bottom of my heart, guys. It's just, that was the most touching experience. I had no idea it was coming. The thought had never even entered my mind. So I was so blown away, like so blown away. And it just goes to show that you can have genuinely awesome friends an ocean away that you've never met before, but that have your tremendous best interests at heart. So
You're welcome. We had fun.
You're welcome. Yeah, it was lots of fun, and we would do it again, and we probably will end up doing it again at some point.
yeah, bitches.
Oh God! And Chase, don't go anywhere. Like when you get off the stream, don't go anywhere on Facebook because I need to talk to you for 2 seconds before you go to bed.
You're so
About the card.
needy.
Hey, you signed up for this, just so you know. All right, guys, have a good life.
Bye-bye, Laura.
Mwah,
Bye,
mwah.
Chase.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you guys so much. Bye.
See ya. Awesome. Just amazing. Like, I'm so stoked. So with all of that awesome yumminess, we now get to tackle some cards. And we've got the ace out of the way, which really leaves the 2, the 3, the 4. And we're going to focus on one suit at a time to keep things in a continuous flow. Okay, so we are just going to be focusing on the suit of swords until that is complete. Okay,
So we have
let's have a little chat about
which one?
let's have a little chat about the 2.
Okay.
I've got a pretty good idea about the 2s. Anna and I both came up with a very similar idea. At first I thought, is that going to be a thing? But then when she said, oh, I've had this idea, and it was the same idea as my original idea, then I went, oh, maybe there's something in this. But one of the ideas that I had for the 2s was the split road, a boulder, nice big boulder, like a very interesting looking bird, and then the decision to go in which direction, and then there was the element of a pendulum. And the person literally stopped to do the pendulum. So eyes closed, pendulum, trying to divine which way she was going to go. But I wasn't 100% set on that, and that seemed like a very, I don't know how I can explain this, it seemed like a very big image, like an image that I don't think could have been very well condensed in a tiny little card like that. Everything would have looked quite small. And, you know, unless I made the cards this big, which, let's face it, wouldn't that be awesome? You could never shuffle that, though, like a little square. Yeah, so I had to, like, we got to the same place with this idea. So, Anna, do you want to talk a little bit about your idea and my idea? Like, what do you know?
Yeah, so, okay, so traditionally the 2 of swords, you see the female figure, or you have this blindfolded figure and the 2 swords, kind of holding the 2 swords. And it's that pause before you make the choice, right? Because it's that moment of indecision when you have to kind of go one way or another, and the feeling, I guess, that you would get out of that, the fact that you have to make a choice, but sometimes you don't want to, or sometimes you're forced to make a choice. But in any case, the image that kind of came to mind was having just showing a figure, a person being pulled from 2 directions, and having, you know, like the ropes, or even an elemental rope, if we could do it like air, or like an elemental rope out of air pulling this individual from both sides, and you get the sense that you are right in the middle of it, so you have to either go left or you have to kind of go right. So that was exactly the image that I had.
That's right. So I had that similar. I had a similar image.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've just got it. My babies are crying. Anna, can you keep going with that for me? I'll find the 3 of swords in the book, and I'll just go on like,
yes,
peace resolve.
Okay, so yeah, so it's kind of, it was interesting that we both came up with the kind of the exact same visual, because I didn't really tell her until we were chatting. And then I do have a sense that, I mean, I don't think you need the swords in this particular case, because by just showing the moment of the choice is the way to go. I think that if we can incorporate some of the, I guess the elements of air in it, it would be great. So, you know, what do you guys think about that? Do you feel like that you feel like you need swords, or you don't need swords? How do you do you really like the two swords being present, even though they're really not doing anything, right? Because she's just holding them like that. All right, let's see. No, we're Divine Gypsy, we're not talking about the Three of Swords. We're talking about the Two of Swords. Let's see. We're trying to keep the blue, you know, different variations of blue probably we're going to be through. So Nikki Sparkle, yeah, is asking if there be blue present as a consistent throughout the deck. So I think that we are going to try and bring that in, because it's very significant of the air aspect. So just like we brought in the ace. Claire G, no, we do not need swords. Little and Fab, I like them there. Okay, so there's two camps. Or make the swords attack the mind. You know, that is a cool visual, Norse Pagan Tarot Witch, because that's a cool visual. However, it has been done. If you are familiar with, oh, what is it? Drawing a blank. The Greek myths. It's a, I have the deck. Drawing a blank. It shows the Furies kind of around the head of the is it the Nine of Swords, I think? 9 or 10 of Swords. It's a very similar visual where the individual is being attacked. I can't remember the name of the deck. I have it. I know Kelly from the True Sister Story was talking about it. She has two decks. There's a current reprint. It shows the Greek myths, and it has something similar to that. So I'm trying to stay away from visuals that have been somewhat repeated. Yeah, but I can see how that would be, yeah, the swords kind of hitting the person. Well, you also have to keep in mind, because when you reach the 9, you don't want to make the card too like mentally hard, I guess, because then you're going to get to the 9 and the 10, so you have to maintain that momentum also. All right, let's see. Mythic Tarot, yes, thank you, Divine Gypsy. Mythic Tarot. Yes, that one. Yep, I believe there's one of the cards where he's being attacked by the Furies, and there's like swords around. So
sorry, I missed all the good stuff. I was
just going to the person being tugged from side to side.
Oh yes. Yeah, so that's our idea, because usually, candle went awry. Usually when you see that's the 3. I instinctively opened up to the 3. Usually when you see the 2 of Swords, it's the traditional rider image, the 2 swords crossed, and I think Anna just spoke about this. And there's that sense of inner looking, like usually it's depicted as a woman, like the woman is looking inside of herself for the answer in which way to go. So it's a point of decision, but it's a point of decision whereby she's not taking on exterior influence. to assist her to make that decision. It is literally coming from the deepest, most authentic place inside of her being. And it's a troubled card because the decision is being forced. It's a swords card, so this is mental pressure there, you know, and it's a decision that she simply must make. The fact that we're dealing with swords means that both decisions are difficult. You know, it's difficult. It's a difficult choice. You know, they either have equal weight, as in equally awesome, or it's like one as bad as the other. But basically they hold an equal value. And deciding between two things that hold an equal value can be extremely difficult. Put into a real life setting, it is which awesome job to take or which crappy job to take. Which lover should I be with? One has all the charm and money, the other one has all the personality and tenderness, you know? And so these weighty decisions, should I go overseas, should I not? Should I have a baby, should I not? You know, these big decisions can be echoed in there.
I do like the crossroads. I like the crossroads idea with the pendulum. I told you that I thought that could, I think that could work visually. I don't think you have to, because you don't really have that many elements. I think that, I mean, yeah, there's the crossroads. There's the bird on a rock. Like the bird on a rock is almost like the witness, I guess.
Yeah.
And
it's the guide. Like I wanted the bird on the rock to feel like the guide, as in like the statement or the sign that says, now is the time. Now's the time to make this decision. You have come to this point and I'm here to greet you, and then witness to which direction you go. It's almost like the bird is holding accountability there in that way. And yes.
So I think
try
that. I think we should try and show it because I think it could work.
All right.
I mean,
all right. Well, we can do that. I just want to. Oh shit. I've got a lot of candles lit right now, and I blew one out because it was going awry, and now the other one's going awry. Forgive me. It was funny. I had to blow my candles out. I don't think I should be having flame when I'm talking about air, and that was very clear in that. Very clear. So, in fact, I will honor by putting on my bone and my feathers, as depicted in the Bruja card. Okay, there we go. I just
so
I
can sketch out the both of them and see which one, you know, really quick, and see what would, you know, look.
Okay. All right. Let's do that. Oh. Okay. So just for reference sake, the bird on the rock sounds like a book. The Bird on the Rock. Have you read the best-selling novel, The Bird on the Rock? It's going to be a crow.
A crow.
Because
okay.
I want the intelligence aspect there, and crows are incredibly intelligent. There's also an element of Dark Mother there, so there's an element of the reckoning, you know. Just extra tasty layers for those who are witchy oriented, you know. Those who love a witch, fancy some witchcraft, some earth-centric spiritual systems. You got that. So while Anna's sketching, I'm going to do the little traditional reading from, what's it called? You would think I know the name of the book. It's my favorite, Tarot Wisdom. I had 78 Degrees of Wisdom in my head, though. She's got a lot of wisdom words in her titles. Okay, so we're dealing here with air. Obviously, we are dealing with the suit of air. It says the deacon here is 110 degrees Libra, ruled by the moon. Yes, okay, so what we have here is Where is my little, oh, it doesn't have it the way that the mages do. I forgot about that. So let's just do a little reading. For those who know the Rider deck, obviously we know that the traditional imagery there. What does match is the Major Arcana card. Both the High Priestess and Hanged Man turn inward. So there's associations with the Two of Swords, and we know this, to the High Priestess, like the inner wisdom, the wisdom that is so deep she cannot articulate it. And then the Hanged Man, the turning inward to endure the sacrifice, to receive the wisdom. And so there's that in a lesser form. And so it's a card that has quite powerful associations when looking from, you know, minor to majors. And the High Priestess is the great psychic, really. And the Hanged Man is the great, is the grand butterfly, the great transformation, the great enlightener, the teacher, the guide. You know, he's so many things. He's Odin in my deck, so he's so many things. He's the All-Father. Let's not lie about that. So from looking at it from a Kabbalah point of view, or a Kabbalistic point of view, the Sephirah is, I can never pronounce them. Chokmah or Yetzirah. Chokmah or Yetzirah. Why do I, yeah, okay, so wisdom and formation. Yes, and then obviously in a reading can indicate intellectual wisdom, dialogue on a high level, reversed breakdown in communication, mental balance, upset. Yeah, so this is one of my favorite reference books, I've got to say. Except as no, I want swords. I'm pulling from a few different books for this because now that we've reached the minors, you will always find a great deal of detail for the majors. People really like to scrimp on the minors.
Yeah, quick question here.
Yeah.
Sorry. So the person in the crossroads, is it a male or is it a female?
Traditionally depicted as a woman, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, make her a woman.
Okay.
Oh, make her a woman with a baby strapped to her back.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, so we've got Two of Knives here. So I'm in Phantasmagoria now. And there's one thing about this book that I like. Well, no, actually, there's everything about this book that I like. In Phantasmagoria, Ian Daniels lists the alchemy. He lists the essence. And the essence is where I love to like sink my teeth into. So the essence is the energy of thought, balance and counterbalance, peace restored, equality, collaboration, change or reorganization, intuitive choices and decisions. So in this scene with Pendulum, we're looking at an intuitive choice, but a choice nonetheless. Mental stability, inner peace, constructive criticism, calm, confidence, grace, discussion, and the connection of minds, impartiality, legality, a contradiction or a paradox. So all fabulous, fabulous words to work with. I think the idea here is to really focus on the aspect of choice. The roads will naturally pull you into different directions, as would any doors. If the doors were there, if there were two doors in front of you, you would have that same symbolism, that same feeling, like which door or which pathway, which car, you know. So that aspect is quite clear, you know, but it's not the be all and end all. It's not the highlight, nor is it the crux of the card itself. The crux of the card itself is the choice, the element of choice, and how in certain times in your life, you cannot rely on external factors to assist you to make a choice. The choice has to come from within. And in our modern construct, that can be very difficult because we have such an ease of accessing information, of accessing opinions. But there are still some very often experienced circumstances that require us to make a choice, a difficult choice, you know. And for those who deal with the idea and the subject of choice on a consistent basis, then, you know, it's a tribute to those. And for those who have a very difficult time making choice, who feel like they always have to call a friend, phone a friend, or ask someone, you know, it is that reminder that nobody can help you in that circumstance. The answer really needs to come from within, from within inside of you. And there are those who are better at dealing with that than others. There are some people that are just naturally born indecisive. My daughter is naturally indecisive. She is a person that is going to be very challenged by the concept of the Two of Swords. And I've known that for about 1.5 years now. And I see it and I think to myself, oh, I look at the Arcana, I look at the majors and minors, and I can see where she's going to get like tripped up. And so I think that for those who struggle with indecision, there is a great medicine there for that aspect of indecision. And for those who consistently make choices, it is a reminder to not be so analytical, that yes, your mind does have to play a tremendous part in this, in discerning the facts, especially, so that then you can step in with a different element, the element of spirit, and make a choice that comes from a different place. It doesn't come from the mind. It doesn't necessarily come from the heart either. It comes from that guiding aspect, either the higher self, a source, deity, your authentic self, like depending on how you would like to phrase that, it comes from a different place. But the mind has to be there, prepared to create the to affirm the battlefield, so to speak. So any questions? Oh, Becky, the Two of Swords is my crone's journey. Lack McLinth, we're not talking about Sophie's Choice, but yes, we are talking about Sophie's Choice. Not specifically, at least. Oh, Divine Gypsy. Two of Swords is part of my Tarot Reflections video. That's lovely. Yes. And that's the beautiful things. Sorry, Anna, what was that?
Sorry, I finished sketching it.
Yee!
So, ready?
Yes.
Okay. Let me pull my image so I can, let me see what I'm showing you. Okay. All right. So, there you go. This is the Two of Swords. So I'm gonna go this way a little bit. Okay. So she's standing at the crossroads, and in front of her is the crow. This is the crossroads here. Her baby is behind, and she is holding the pendulum. And let me go a little closer so you can kind of see. She's holding it, and that would be this.
Oh, that's cool.
So
yeah.
It could, you know, if you keep it.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I'm saying if you just keep only these elements in, then it would work.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that there would be a way using, you know, your beautiful watercolor technique to create the aspect of, say, a gusty day?
I can try. I can try. Like a windy day?
Yeah, just like a little bit of a little storm on the horizon, just like a little, you know, just before the dark clouds roll in. You know how the air lifts a little bit? It becomes just that little bit windy. And so just a hint of a storm, the inner storm. and a hint
Yeah.
of the wind, the wind lifting. So the wind is calling for action. There's just a little aspect of storm on the horizon, just to bring that sense of the moment to being.
Well, and also I can have her like have wind show. There's like her skirt is moving, her dress is moving. That's
Yep.
going to give you wind. Also, yeah, we can do the horizon and have like there's hills currently like that right now. There's like some hills in the background, so we can have some of this cloudy element in the background too.
Yeah, cool. Can we
Somebody's
give her a
asking
little
why the
belt? Can we give
Oh,
her
I'm sorry.
a belt with like a little dagger, because she's a woman on a road with a baby strapped to her back. She needs to be able to defend herself.
To have a dagger, you said?
Yeah, just like a little, you know, the gypsy belt. She's wearing a beautiful billowing dress, right? So
Yeah.
a little gypsy
Well,
belt with just like whatever
Yeah,
you've
I
got
had
there, it looks awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna put her in a dress, but if you want a skirt, that's fine.
Oh, no. Dress is fine. Yeah, dress is fine. Just that I was talking about the billowing aspect. So it would, can we put a little belt or something,
Yeah.
sort of like, just like a little
can put-
pouch of goodies. So you know how you go on festival, you know how you go to festivals and you wear these like little hippie pouches where you've got like, I always have like a Swiss card in mine because I like to protect myself. So I've got my Swiss card, I've got my water, I've got some kind of pain relief and some Band-Aids.
So just have like a belt with some. Well, there's some belts that have like pockets and stuff.
Yeah,
But I
that's kind
can
of
have,
what I'm going for, just like a little sort of side belt, just with a few trinkets for her trip
Okay.
along the road.
I can add that. So
Or just keep it simple, like Raven said, just keep it simple and have like just a sword strapped to the side.
well, if
Whichever one you think works best.
if you want, you can have two swords. If you want the two swords,
One on the foot, one on the ankle, one on the hip, one on the ankle.
one.
If the wind's blowing, it will lift. If the wind is blowing, right, and her dress is billowing, you might actually see her ankle. So you could have a little dagger on the ankle, and you could have a dagger on the hip.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You can have the crow hold the sword too.
You want the baby to hold the sword?
The crow, not the baby. Yes, the baby's playing with none.
So funny. That's perfect. Well,
People are asking why the baby. They don't. People just don't like babies. I'm telling you.
they don't like babies. They don't like babies.
They're like, why the baby? Why the baby?
Because whenever we have to
Well,
make a choice that involves another person, that makes the choice so much harder. Like, it's one thing to make a choice for yourself, and it's quite another to make a choice that you know directly impacts another person. So you have to think twice as hard. So it forces you then to be very, very careful with that choice. So it holds accountability, and it brings the element of repercussions there. So think about a situation where you are a parent, whether you're a physical parent to a child, a baby or a grown-up, or you're a pet parent, or you have had to parent a project, then people are writing about the baby eating the dagger, the baby ready for a fight with the dagger.
Okay,
Yes,
so doing this.
besides,
Okay, so
you're gonna see people. You're gonna see more than usual people in the Bonestone, because there's a primeval view. So there's more tribal elements. And I don't know about you guys and your geographical locations, but traveling alone, you know, in a tribal situation is something that you would do to soul journey or to hunt, for instance. But if you're making a journey, then you would generally take some soul family with you, some tribe with you on that journey. And in this case, it's her and her baby, or her
You can put a dog in there too.
Yeah, you could. Hey, we've got a crow, we've got a dog, we've got a dagger, we've got a baby, let's throw some bones on the floor.
All right, so I have her with, there's the sword. You can kind of make it out. It's a sketch, guys, so imagine it. There's the sword on her, and then there's the sword on her exposed leg. You can kind of see it there.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
And then did you want to sketch out the tug thing too?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Sketch it out.
Okay.
So what do you think, guys? Baby or backpack? You get a choice here. I told you I wanted input with the twos. I'm giving you the opportunity to add your input here. So baby or backpack? Baby or backpack? Pendulum as a crystal or pendulum as a dagger, like a little knife?
Yes.
Fuck it all.
Chance, guys, this is your chance. If you get a baby and you didn't want the baby, you didn't speak up.
Okay. So what we have here, let me just keep up. So we've got 1 for baby, 2 for baby. I lost it. Okay, 1 for baby, 2 for baby. I can't handle it.
Backpack.
1 for backpack. Backpack, baby. Leave the baby. No baby. Someone's really adamant about no baby. Baby, dagger, no baby, backpack. Okay, baby's winning, guys. Backpack, baby, dagger. Oh my gosh. Crystal and baby.
Well, we had the crystal, no? The crystal is Jom, no?
Yes. Ooh, lots of baby there. Put the dog in the backpack. Nobody puts baby in the corner. You guys are awesome. Oh my god. A dagger in the shape of a baby. I'm still laughing on that. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Sorry, of the two. Oh, baby is just a lot deeper to read into than a backpack. This is true. Like, baby adds an extra element. Whether you like babies or you don't, it's just a natural inclination to.
If you don't like baby, then you get the baby on the backpack. You know you don't want that baby there, right? So it's even more pressure for you, this card. So it actually would do the job.
Yeah, it's true. If you don't want the baby there, then you don't. You know what? And here's the thing: don't assume that just because this woman has a baby on her back that it's naturally her baby. Don't assume. You know, we're looking at things in tribal culture. There are so many instances where aunties and uncles, you know, raised and grandparents raised young children. And don't assume. You can assume, of course, if you want to, but you don't have to. So maybe she's deciding whether or not she's just going to offload it to the slacker dad that left her to go to war to fight some pigeons. You know, like create your story, create your narrative to make it fit. Got a baseball dirt. Okay, my ears. Good night. On to you. See you, Chase. Big love. Maybe the baby needs to be a front pack. Backpack is too easy. Hey, Roxy, how you going? It's true. I just don't understand the baby.
Orphan.
Can we put a max amount of babies in a deck? I don't think I have any babies. Have I got any babies?
No.
We don't have a single baby in this deck so far. So if this is the first baby. Yeah. This is the first baby.
We didn't even have it for the Empress.
No, she was pregnant bellied, pregnant with nature in the sense of Gaia, but not pregnant necessarily with a baby. How about that? What have we got here?
So here's what, it's a quick one, okay? It's a quick sketch because, all right, so here's a quick version. So if you had the person being pulled from two directions, you could have it like this, or you can force perspective and have it like you're looking from the person from the top, and you can see the expression on their face and kind of like the.
Yeah, that's,
you know what
ominous.
I mean? Like
that's ominous, isn't it? I like it.
Top, and then you'd have the binding on the hands. At the same time, you would have, like, if it's from the top, right? If it's from the top view, you'd have a lot of space around, so you get a lot of atmosphere going around. So you can put like stormy clouds things, and you could see the person. The person would be fairly, like, I'm trying to give you a rough idea of how it would fit in the card, since the card is, really not, you'd have you fit, but you'd see, you'd have more at the top, right? The card would be like that.
I like it. I like it. Well, we've got a choice to make, guys. So I will allow you to vote. So we have the figure being pulled in two directions.
Yeah, I'll hold them up. Okay, here's the
I'll switch
options.
to Anna's here so you can see. Holding directions. We have woman with a baby on her back. It's a baby, guys. It's a freaking baby. Okay, it's not a backpack. It's a baby. It was voted. It was voted by majority. It was majority vote. I'm sorry. The crow is there. The crossroad aspect is there. The pendulum crystal there. Then we have the figure on a rock, you're sort of looking down, kind of on a precipice. So you've got that on the precipice of change there, and then you've got the tug of war, the human tug of war, so to speak. Bindings on one arm, bindings on the other, literally being pulled in two different directions. So there's a lot more expression, and there's a singularity to that card. There's no baby, there's no backpack, there's no sword. There literally is that moment of choice and that moment of being torn. And
hold on, let me put numbers on this, because people are going first one, second one, so we're like trying to figure out here. I'm labeling it 1 and 2. It's not, just so it's easier, okay? Just type in 1 or 2, guys.
Yeah.
Here. All right. This is 2. This is 1.
Okay, so baby, crow, crossroads, pendulum, backpack. Sorry, not backpack, baby, woman. 2, precipice, tug of war, human tug of war. Seeing it in the moment is 1. So type 1 or 2. 1 or 2? 1 or 2. How? 2, 2. Oh shit! It's going really fast. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So we've got 2 for 1. 2, 2, 2. Okay, 2's winning. 2's winning. Yeah. There's a few in favor of 1, but there was more in favor of 2. See, you guys are deciding. You guys have decided.
Okay.
It's only a decision card. Jeez. Is the baby because the tot has so many decisions in life still to make, to nurse or not to nurse? It could be. It could be. 2, 2, 2, 2.
Okay.
2 is way more emotive, says Tarot Alchemist. Yeah, so we're with 2. 2 is our winner.
Okay.
Winning.
All right, that was easy.
That
So
really
we have
was.
one is done.
Guys, in a decision scenario, you know, it really helps to have that tiebreaker, because sometimes you get 2 ideas come through and they are massive. You know, the card's massive and both ideas are really good. See, this is the perfect example. This is the perfect example of the 2 of Swords. Choose between 2 images. Choose between the baby or the backpack. This is a card that holds the 2 of Swords energy perfectly.
All right. Next card.
I feel like I need to light my smudge again for this one. All right. You know what this means, folks. 3 of Swords time. 3 of Swords time. So this is where we start to bring in the darkness. We're going to bring in a little darkness. So just, you know, answer me this. How much darkness can you handle? Is it a 10 or a 2? Are you I can handle some darkness just as long as the whole deck isn't propagated by dark, morose, horrible cards? That's you at a 10. And if you're at a 2 going, I don't like any darkness or a lot of darkness. I like darkness being used very sparingly. If you're at a 2, I recommend the good tarot then for you, not the Bonestone. So 2. Let's do 10 and 5. Maybe 10 and 5 is better. I like a little, but not too much. I'm okay with it. Or 10, it's like I'm a dark heart myself, and I love it. Okay, we bring it. Okay, so it's at this point that I would like to introduce you to our first idea. Well, actually, we'll do our first idea. We'll do our first idea. What do you call it? I'm trying to think of the terminology. So the roots, then the second idea. What do you think? Or do you want to go?
All right. So the roots. Well, you want to talk about it? Or do you
Okay, I'll talk about the roots. Yeah, okay. No, maybe we both need to talk about both, because you've got the visual perspective, because it's going to that was the tricky one. That's how I kind of got tripped up on that.
Well, okay, so why don't you talk about the essence of the card, how you like the meaning of the card first, and then I'll explain the visual. How's that?
Okay, so when we reach the point of the 3 of Swords, we look at I like to consider it as a baby tower. So you've got the Tower card, and then the 3 of Swords to me is the baby tower. So it is a complete dissolving of a construct, and the feeling of like the lack of breath and the loss and the anguish and the mental pain, but also the regeneration that ensues that. So it's not a person about to fall apart. It's a person who has just completely fallen apart. It is in that moment, that's rock bottom. That's the worst it's going to get. And so there is an element of hope and forward thinking. And usually the 4 of Swords depicts a situation of rest, where the person in the place of the 3 of Swords has gone through a tremendous amount of mental anguish, and something has completely dissolved in their life. And so they need that moment to regenerate. They need to decompress. They need to regenerate. And that's where we hit the 4. The 4 is a necessary rest card because the 3 is such a baby tower, right? I keep sneaking a peek, but the 3 of Swords is within despair, pain, hurt, all over the floor. So there is there's so many ways that you can actually go about this. So the first idea we have, and we have 2 solid ideas, and this is where we need help. So the first idea we have is the sense of root and grounding, of home, and then the feeling of being torn away from your tribe, from your home, from your mother, your father, from your loved ones, the complete removal. And it's an abrupt removal. It's yanking, it's the ripping apart of something, and the complete loss. And so the first idea I had was to literally depict like anthropomorphized roots in the ground and have one of them being yanked apart, and that feeling of pain and turmoil from a very ingrained root level. Now, it's not supposed to be a Harry Potter root. It's not supposed to be something that is, comical. There's an element of emotion to literally being so intertwined. The roots are a symbol of familial ties, of love ties, of ancestral ties. And then there's that ripping apart, like that complete ripping apart. Now, if you're an animist, then you're not going to have a problem with this image. I'm an animist, so that's where I'm coming from with this. If you're a much more visual person, then you will perhaps like our second idea. But the first idea was of roots, like familial ties literally in the ground, and then the yanking apart, and then that feeling of reaching out for your loved ones as you're literally being pulled away, and like the despair and the dissolving of that, it's a moment of like complete like breathless when your heart rises and your stomach falls and there's a complete separation. So there was that. That was what I was trying to create. And the reason why I went for roots is because they are deep in the ground. They represent something of growth, of interconnectedness, of healing, of resources, Yeah. Bow and Arrow says you're making me want to go and hug a tree. Oh my gosh. So that is our first idea. Sorry, Anna?
Yeah, no, I think that we can definitely show that. I think that we can show what that feeling would be if we can't speak. Personify the roots a little bit by showing, having them in some shape of like a human shape somehow.
Yeah, I like that. That's the idea. The idea is to give the plant, the root, the tree a humanistic character so that you can relate there, but also understand that they are roots at their very core. They're roots. And when you think of roots, what do you feel? Like, what do you think and what do you feel? They are the place from which, things grow. They are the grounding, the connection to the earth, the life-giving force. The root is where it all begins. The root, the seed, the earth, the deep, dark soil. That's where it all begins. Now, my issue with this one was that it might be too much earth for an air card, which is why I was a little bit like, and it would be easier to do this with a mandragora root because they are already quite, shapely, and they have this potential to be rather humanistic. But, I didn't want it to be, I didn't necessarily want it to be too earth.
I sketched a little bit while you were speaking, so.
Great.
Okay. So let's see. All right, so I'm gonna flip it around. So here, these are ferns. 1, 2, 3 ferns with one root. And when you look in, you can kind of see that this root is forming a little, like it's getting personified, and its arm is extended towards one that's being taken away. So this would be the fern. And this is the hand that is plucking it out. So I figured fern because it's a very
airy.
It's not a bad. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's,
Yes. Could we add more root down the bottom, like some more family there? Can we sketch in
yeah,
some
I
more
can
like
actually
family
probably
members?
shift everything a little bit to the side.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And that way, if we have all
I would,
those in the ground literally all interconnected, reaching up, and the one that is being pulled up reaching down, then there's that sense of like separation there.
yeah. You'd get like, I'm losing my pencil here. So yeah, you could have, I could actually move it a little, well, I can't now, but I can move this section in the middle so there'll be a vertical instead of this empty space. So it'll be kind of, right.
We could use that. We could use that sort of empty space though to have something underneath, like to have that little tribe aspect underneath, like smaller baby ferns or something like that. I don't want to say the word baby, okay? I'm scared of saying the word baby in this crowd. Like this crowd lynches babies, dude. First we take the baby out of the sun card and everyone's like, hallelujah. And then we put a baby in the sword card and they're like, what the fuck? And then we talk babies in the ground in the 3 of swords and they're like, nah, I'm walking. I want a refund. I don't want this.
let's read some of the more paint. Okay.
Birds, crows, 3 crows. All right. So we'll stop there with that.
So that
You
was,
get the idea. You've been explained it and you've seen a sketch. So let's move on to the other one. This is for all you dark hearts out there. Anna?
yes.
You can describe half of it. I'll describe the other half. Like you'll describe your half. I'll describe my half. Okay.
All right. So the idea. Okay. So you all know the traditional image of the 3 swords sticking in the heart, right? So what if the heart? So what happens if you think about what's happening to the actual heart? Like if you're going to go that direction, what happens to the heart, like when it's full of pain and after it's been through a great amount of stuff? And the way the thought was, home is where the heart is, right? And then what if something like that were being taken away from you? And the image that came to mind was a charred heart, like a burned heart. So instead of the heart being, stabbed and you see the blood, what happens when you go through all that emotional turmoil? Yes, it's correct. It hardens. Sometimes you become void of any emotion or thought, for that matter, because this is swords. And even though we are showing a heart, it's also it is about the mind. So you're going through it could be a mental pause and just have nothing there. So instead of showing the bloody aspect of it, we're thinking of showing a charred heart that's been burned to a crisp. And then from this, you would see there was some hope to it, and we would place just a little tiny sprout from the heart. The heart would be then cupped by a hand, so the heart would stand on a palm like this, and the palm. Avalon, you're gonna have to talk about these because I don't even know what they're called.
All right. So firstly, I just wanted to emphasize here that we're talking about a human heart, not a love heart. Not like a love heart. We're talking about like a heart with an aorta and it's all crispy. And then there is one little sprout with like a little curly whirly vine, very green, very new. The hand that's holding it is a power hand. So think of it this way. On one of the fingers, I haven't determined which one it's going to be, and it won't be until it won't be until Anna is able to draw it and get quite the best angle. There will be a ring that will be very like bird skull, and from that ring will come out a giant metal fingernail, and it's going to be like almost piercing the heart, and it's injecting a little bit of like life in there, but there's going to be an element of like metal fingernails. Now, the best way that I can explain this to you, if you've seen the new Conan the Barbarian movie and you've seen Rose McGowan's like enchantress dark witch kind of vibe, she's got those, you know, those metal nails like talons. And yes, talons, that's exactly right. And yeah, so that would be, it would be a very dark card. So literally this hand with this bird skull that's literally like coursing out into a very fine metal claw or a talon. And you can see the element of skull, of bird, and that would be metallic. That would be all metal in a hand. The charred heart, an overwhelmingly large charred heart, aorta, and then the sprout, the little green sprout. So
yep, okay. I'm drawing it right now.
So Anna's going to have a little sketch of that one. But the idea, obviously, you can see that behind both ideas, one is the literal ripping apart of a construct, right? In that case, it's the roots, the family unit. In this idea of the heart, we see that the pain and the suffering has actually occurred, and now it's time for regeneration. The fact that the heart is charred really, really emphasizes the fact that a tremendous amount of pain went on. And then we see that sprout. It invites that element of hope, which I believe carries through a better standing to the Four of Swords, which is the rest. So the rest and the nurture of the spirit, so that it can, you know, grow into something new. And so I was very much in favor of the heart, of the charred heart, because I think that has a lot of impact. And it's an intimate look, because it's no face, it's just hand. It's skull ring, very ornate skull ring with these metal talons, and it's the heart. Everything's just so deliciously beautiful about that.
I think that in order for the talon of the ring, if you put the ring on here,
the index.
Well, if the ring is here, okay, so I'm using my wedding ring as an example. If the ring is however it's placed here, and you have the little skull thing, I think it's going to be kind of hard for it to connect all the way down. I think that if we put the talon, like make it so it's at the tip of the finger, I think then we can bring it to touch the heart. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe in that case, I do want the element of bird skull in there. So what we can do is begin the talon from, say, there, right, from the very tip, but then have like a little metal chain to like a little skull somewhere else.
I can do that.
How much will there be enough to see a wrist, or the list at the start of a wrist? Because it would be cool if we could do it, like, if I'm looking at it from there, we could rest a skull, like, right in the fold. Yeah, or on top even, yeah.
So I think, no, I can put a ring on the finger and then connect it to the talon. I can do that. But it's kind of hard to get the ring to loop that way to the top. It's just a long...
Well, you know what? If you can't loop it, if you can't get it to loop, that's fine, because the action of the sprout is still very much there. We're bringing in the metallic aspect of a sword by the talons, and so maybe we could have 3 talons, one on the thumb, maybe digging in, or, you know, just to disperse them in a way. They don't all need to be touching. Just one of them can be touching, but it's...
That's fine. I can do that. Yep.
Oh, I think people are really jiving with the black heart, the charred heart. You'll get your time to vote.
And here I was thinking that they'd go for the first one.
I I was too. But see, that my thing was, I thought that the first one, being roots, was a little too earth. You know what? That roots could work for the 5 of Pentacles. And then they really could be Mandrake roots, because then they're very heavy earth. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, pinky and thumb piercing the heart. Metallic talon, yes. Totally jiving with the charred earth flesh, yep. Yep. And the pointing fingernail iron thingy. Skull on the thumb. We'll make it a thumb ring. That's Nikki Sparkle. Gypsy Divine. She's saying, I'm reading from the bottom up. So 3 metal talons. Ooh, Hanaconda. I get what you did there, Hannah. She has proposed putting the heart in grayscale. So obviously color everywhere else but the heart in grey.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, yeah,
that could be interesting, I'm just saying.
I was gonna I have to do some research how I think to show something that is burned, it's like black and gray and has all these is definitely not red.
There's something here, bow and arrow. I really want wind blowing ashes, please.
Okay. We can do that.
Yeah. Well, I think that would be fair because it's an air card. There'll be air. If it's a charred heart, then there'll be that disintegration, slight disintegration where the ash is like lifting from the heart. Nice work there. Miss Arrow, Mr. Arrow. Thanks for pointing that out to me, Roxy. That was much appreciated. We've got 3 metal talons ideas. Bows to your greatness. That was there. That's there for you, Anna. Bows to your greatness.
Thank you.
She is a sovereign goddess, this woman.
Okay. Now, guys, it's good. The heart is just FPO, right, for placement only, because it's going to be dark and have all the tubes and but it's here. I'm gonna make a little. Okay, so where's the talon? Here's the talon I'm making with black, so we can kind of see it better because it's hard to see. All right, ready? Here it is. So there's the heart. It's all gonna be all black. These little dust specks here would be the ashes kind of flowing in the wind. You have the little leaf here that's sprouted. And this is the hand with the 1 talon and then the 2 talon. And I can put the ring right here if you want.
Yep, that would be perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. Yeah, that heart's gonna be like so awesomely charred and just ugh. Yeah, I think the heart's going to be the winner. I'm just saying.
So, right there is going to be the ring.
Yep. Only a teensy bit bigger, so it's got an element of prominence. Please.
Bigger. Okay. I wrote down bigger. I'm gonna write bigger.
Cool.
Bigger ring. Okay.
Alrighty. So the vote is up.
Can we vote again? Are we voting or are we just not voting?
Yeah. Would you like to number the 2 ideas, please?
Yep, 1, 2. So 1 is this one. This is the roots, and the heart is 2. So I'm gonna. Apparently, it's showing up inversed in here. So here we go.
So there we go. 1 is root, 2 is heart. Go. 2. Yeah. We haven't even got one single one yet. I think it's pretty clear. All right, so we have a charred heart as our 3 of swords. We have a charred heart.
Okay.
Congratulations, folks. We have a charred heart with a tiny little vine sprout coming out of it.
Yeah, we have a vine sprout.
Yes. Yes. So that's beautiful.
Awesome.
1 equals 5 of pentacles. See, you know, we could reuse that idea there for the 5 of pentacles. So don't throw that sketch away.
Okay.
Maybe you put on the header potential 5 of pent there. Well, we'll probably like come across this option a few times. Yeah.
Can I see the second sketch, please? This is the second sketch. Okay, here you go.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay.
Perfection. Perfection. And now, because it's fresh in my mind and we're almost time up, but I just wanted to get this out because now that we've decided on the charred heart, then I wouldn't mind sort of like moving to the 4. Now my idea for the 4 is a little, this is exactly what I'm seeing in my head. An individual draped over a stone, like kind of like totally exhausted, and just like a little, like the growth of that vine coming up to meet them, like on that stone, like the vine is literally coming to meet them. It wouldn't even have to be full body would be good.
So wait, so you're seeing somebody over a stone?
Yeah, like literally like, I'm so tired. Like, I've been walking for ages, journeying for ages. I just endured a great battle, just like literally slumped on a stone.
Okay.
Like legs kind of out, like literally like,
Yeah,
that
okay.
That idea was born out of the charred heart. And just bring an element of that vine into the 4, into that aspect of just like the deepest necessity to rest, right? That to me is the 4. It's that moment of regeneration. And then the second is completely far removed. It's like almost not a continuation, but a continuation of a dude leaning back, kind of like not cave wall, but like leaning back on a tree or something, hat forward, like dagger at the ready, like feet extended out in front, having a little nap on a tree, you know? But kind of like armed at the ready, but just having a quick little nap. So they're my 2 ideas for the 4.
Okay. The one on the rock, my only concern is that it's going to be somewhat reminiscent with the traditional wands, the guy that's carrying all the wands on his back, the weight,
Oh, yeah.
the hardship of it.
Yeah.
That's my only concern, because this being exhausted on a rock reminds me of the guy who's exhausted with the wands.
I see what you mean. That's an excellent point. That is a bit burdened. That's a bit too burdened. Let's remember that idea for the 10.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I'm just thinking that it's not as restful, I guess. It's more of an exhaustion, which is,
in which case,
kind of what.
In which case, what if we bring the element of heart into the 4 as well, and have someone laying in fetal position around the heart as the heart is growing, and just kind of like a little, just like a really peaceful kind of like, I need this little bit of rest here, and the heart is being, the charred heart is literally being nurtured through that. Is that too much charred heart? Is that too much charred heart though? Can you have the charred heart a second time?
I'm thinking, trying to see how we could pull that through.
What about if the heart was red instead of charred? What about if it's some color started to come into it?
Okay, so when you're saying that there's somebody who's like sitting there resting, waiting, are you saying that you can kind of see through them and you can see their heart coming back to life kind of thing because of the rest of it?
That could be very much how it goes, yeah.
So if we show them like on the side, but you only show like half, you know, so you can fit it in the card. So just show half torso laying sideways. You can show the heart.
Right, or you could literally do the you could do the removal of the heart. Say the heart hasn't quite integrated back into the chest, and they're just like laying down and just they're just nurturing it. They're literally nurturing the heart, and there's more color to it. So if the charred heart is completely devoid of color and it's turned to ash, in this one we show a human being in a state of rest, like literally breathing life into this. You know, her breath is the life that injects the color into the heart, and she's just in a restful state.
Okay.
Is that too much?
I'm trying to see how we can get it in the picture. That's all. I'm trying to see how we can. I'm thinking of angles. I'm seeing images. I'm trying to shift all the angles. Here, let me.
See, I can't do the angles. That's why I need you. I can't do the angles.
That's why I'm like, let me
actually. Hang on. Hang on a minute.
Okay.
I've got. Where are you? You know what? When you have thousands of decks and you need to find one, that's where I'm at right now. I have. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I'm looking for an image here. It's oh shit, where are you?
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the Halloween Oracle. And I just realized I can't find it anywhere. Nowhere to be found. Unless it's in my Samhain box. This seems like something I wouldn't do. It's got a really important image that I'm trying to.
I think I have something here. Let's see if this is gonna work. Okay, so if you had the person, like you'd have a close, in order to see what's happening, you have to have it from this point kind of view, like he's laying on the ground, he's holding this heart, and now you can see that it changed, it's starting to change. But also have like you know, he's laying down, right? Because his elbow would be here and here, so you get this viewpoint of him kind of cradling it.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. I really want to find this damn image. Oh, there it is. This is what I was getting the inspiration for. Oh no, it's not at all the way that I thought it was. Don't you love that? Okay, so I was kind of like, this is a little bit not what I thought that it was. I totally misimagined this card. But this is the Eternal Love card from the Halloween Oracle by Stacey DeMarco, right?
Oh, don't have that deck.
Yeah, this is I'll try to get the glare out of it. But there's an element of like the heart being nurtured, right? It's an aerial perspective. And in my head, I was looking at an aerial perspective with, say, see how there's beautiful grass there? Like imagine a person laying in kind of like an almost fetal position, like an aerial view. There's spattered green around, and just, you know, like on the side, like in fetal with that heart in the hand, and it's very treasured and it's very close, and it's almost an intimate moment of just life, you know. It's a very intimate moment of closeness.
Having him sit in a fetal position.
It's the thing that I liked about the idea of the fetal position too is that when we're in a state of fear, when we're in a state of physical pain, I think about childbirth, like you lie on your side, like, oh my God, you know, that curling up, it shows a sense of inwardness, like of withdrawing in, of really gathering up all of your energy resources, your physicality, and you know, bringing it into a more intimate place, something that's closer to you, that you can look after and control a bit better. It's a comforting pose. It reminds of the inner child as well. And yeah, I think it would be beautiful for rest and regeneration if that was like an aerial fetal.
Okay.
You guys are awesome.
Something like this.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Like where he's like with his knees to his you know, like a,
that's it. You know,
so
I'm thinking as well, there's an almost, I don't want to gender stereotype. I don't want to do that, but I'm thinking that imagine if you had the visual elements of a maiden, right? So you have the maiden mother crone aspect, right? Imagine if you had the visual elements of the maiden and the return of innocence there. The return of innocence and the nurturing of the heart, it really takes that, you know, it's evocative in my mind, you know.
Okay, let me ask you this. Who out of the three aspects of the maiden mother and the crone would be the regenerative one?
I think the crone is the great regenerator. I think the crone holds more power to regenerate over and over again. I find the mother is the great creator, and the maiden is the whimsy. It's the laughter, it's the fun, it's the young passion, not the motherly passion or the wise passion. And so there's a more delicate element to it. It could be mother as well, and it could be crone as well. Like it could be the crone laying there, you know, experiencing a regeneration of her heart, you know, a crone who has weathered the years, a crone who has, you know, seen it all, experienced it all, indicative of the fact that just because you're older, you're not immune to loss. Loss is not just for the young, it's not just for the old, it's not just for man or woman, it's for everyone. Everyone, it will experience loss. And so to put someone of age there, or the reversal of age, to put someone quite young introduces an innocence, and to put someone older and wiser introduces an element of experience.
Because yeah, I mean, if that's what I like, yeah, I think that would bring something different to it. However, so it depends on the direction that you want to go, right? Self is just rest, usually, like take a break from everything that's happened. So if you want to go into the more in-depth, phases.
No, I don't necessarily want to see. I don't want to really bring in deity elements. I want to bring in just hints of that kind of energy.
Well, here's okay. Now this is way off from what we're talking here, but do you remember that picture of that tree that I sent you with the bleeding looking tree?
Yes.
Yes.
The bloodwood.
The bloodwood tree. So that I never knew even existed. So here's something that is similar to the fours. Okay, so usually, and I don't have the bloodwood tree, but I do have a tree down the street that they was cut because it was dry. So they cut it. They cut the tree. It was a very beautiful cherry tree, and it got cut. And I was walking by that. So you see the stump of the tree, and from the stump, there are these like little. It's growing again. It's like ridiculous. It just decided to come back to life. So
that's beautiful. So you're thinking of tree growth. You're thinking of tree growth. See, I happen to think that that's quite a beautiful image, but because it's a tree, I always think then of earth.
Earth. Yeah,
so
that's
earth to me.
That's why I was like.
That's the issue that I had with the roots as well. A great visual idea, but very earth. And so
I did like the one with the hat that you had, the guy resting with the hat on. I like the whole hat resting on the face kind of thing, because that's very like nonchalant kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like very direct. So I did like that. I think that would convey the message very well.
Yeah, I like. Okay, because there's still quite a lot of potential there for that one, especially on his persona, on his body, like to put certain, like I kind of saw like, a pretty relaxed kind of dude, very that business, and then hat here, and like a weapon at the ready kind of thing, like not I'm asleep but I'm not dead kind of business. Like there's there's a little something there.
Like he could wake up anytime and
just keep on going.
Graveyard. Becky Gerald. Graveyard? What?
Is he leaning on
graveyard?
a tombstone?
Is that what you guys are going? He's leaning on a tombstone?
Well, he could be a grave digger.
I'm waiting.
He could be a grave digger just having a little break too, having smoko. Is that too much? Imagine like some guys, like he's leaning on a tombstone having a cigar. Like that's air, right? Cigar.
Yep.
Like hat kind of low, just having a little, like a shovel behind, little weapon on the hilt, just something to introduce like a sword energy, a little bit bearded, like very humanistic, very. That could work.
I'm thinking. Yeah, I think that would convey the four.
Soren saying grave robber taking a break.
Yeah.
If like, I don't know how you could do this, but you could almost work, like if he's leaning on a tombstone, for instance, right? And you could just put the hint of a tombstone in the background. You could almost put like just a sneaky little vine creeping up sort of like behind it, just very subtle. You'd have to really be looking for it to just introduce that element of like regeneration or reach or growth. Just to bring a little element of that card into this one, that card into this one. That makes sense. So what are we thinking? Grim Reaper, Mayan, robbing the grave, made him exhausted. He has to go somewhere for respite. Fucking hell, guys. You guys are going really, really fast. Crumbling stone temple. Bow and arrow and a knife beside him. Very nice. A bow and arrow is such a cool air weapon, I think.
Bow and arrow by the side, is that what?
That was the one, yep. Rosebud trees have a heart in them. Guy leaning on a tree, catnapping. Totally turned off by smoking. Broken stone temple floor. Yeah, so there's an element there.
Well, let's see.
What about like instead of a cigar, like a pipe, like an old man's pipe? You could play with the smoke then a little bit. A little bit. I can't say Gandalf again because we've already used some Gandalf in this one.
Let's do some sketching.
Okay. So I think he's either resting on a tree, just having a casual break, or he's resting at a gravesite. I'm two of swordsing those ones at the moment. I'm not sure. I think having the element of tree there is far more, far more light, like lighter, and it does sort of hint to. It hints to just a journey and a bit of a break, you know. If you guys wanted to bring the backpack idea into that one, we could do that. Like the backpack idea is having a break, is on a journey, having a bit of a rest, leaning up against a tree, still armed, hat pulled down in front of him. Yeah.
He's still armed?
Well, you know, he's not going to sleep on a tree on a road without some kind of weaponry. I wouldn't. So I'm not sure, like just not like armed to the hilt like a tribal warrior. I'm thinking more casual dagger kind of at the chest.
Okay.
You know how some people put a knife or a gun underneath the pillow? This is kind of like that same thing, but just sort of at the chest and clasped in the hand, but very much relaxed and just precautionary.
Okay. Set this in. So is he on a tree or is he on a tombstone? Does it matter?
Well, tree or tombstone, I don't know. I think that if he's in a graveyard, then it doesn't really necessarily depict that he's on a journey. If he's on a tree, then you can almost assume that if he's on a tree and he has a bag next to him, you can say that he's on a trip, on a little trek.
Okay.
So I don't know. Which one do you think from an artistic point of view? I can't decide. Should I get out my pendulum and strap my baby to my back?
Honestly, I think I would put him. Well,
See, you can't decide.
Go there.
No, you need to go there. Go there with your dark self.
No, I would just put him on a cloud. A cloud, like a cloud.
Like monkey magic.
Like he's Well, because I was thinking, I usually put it, you know, air. So like he's resting on a cloud, kind of. But that's just like very.
Got it.
But I think that. Well, if he's sitting on a tombstone, it does not say that he's, you know, going through that he will be moving forward on his mission, kind of thing, right? He's not just taking. He could be taking a break, but it's more like a final break, kind of like he's like in a graveyard.
Yeah. No, I wish the graveyard idea.
I would put him by a tree or, you know, somewhere on the side of on a rock. Not if it's not, he could be resting on like a big boulder or something like that.
What about kind of like what about like a little rock wall, like a little cobblestone sort of rock wall?
Yeah, like something like that. Like I would put him on something that would give you the sense that he's moving somewhere, like on the road or.
If you did a low wall, then you could have a couple of little birdies resting on the top of the wall, bringing some feathered creature in there.
You could have a birdie looking down at him, like, "What are you doing?"
What's up, dude? They could all be like just little birds, you know. That how when you see like birds on a wire, for instance, they're all doing something different. One's looking down, one's looking this way. You know, there's a little element of curiosity. Yeah. I like the curiosity element.
Yep.
This is my very chic little boy.
Aw, where is he? Hold on, we gotta pull my. Gotta see you where I. Aw, you have a haircut. You got a haircut.
Say hello, everybody. Blow and kiss.
Crispin, you got a very nice haircut. I like your haircut.
Yes, he chose it. He looks.
He chose it. Very nice. Very nice.
Yes. There you go.
So do we want to have some? Do we want to have the swords? I mean, swords. Do we have? What? Does he have a backpack on the side? Does he have?
It doesn't necessarily need to be a backpack. Just something that indicates that he's traveling with stuff. So a rucksack, backpack. I don't want the fool's. What do they call it? You know, the stick with the little baggie tied to the end of the stick. There's a word for that, and I can't think of it. You know, very Huckleberry Finn. I don't want that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yep. Well, we can have him. Perhaps he can have the heart right by him.
On his lap.
Next to it.
Just like my precious.
He's walking around with it, right? Okay, so here's what I have. Let's see, swap this way.
Yeah.
Can you see?
I can't. Oh, yeah. That's a bit cool.
So he's resting. He's sitting. There's the wall. There's a little birdie on the top. There's one at the bottom looking at him.
Yes. Like a nice clear, dappled clouds, sort of sky back, some rolling hill. Your little birdies.
Yep, we can put that in.
Yeah, I like that. I think that says
rest beautifully. At the Four of Swords.
Yeah,
a little monster
behind it. Oh,
Nikki
a little
Sparkles,
horse.
a little monster.
Nikki Sparkles. Yeah, they've got some great ideas here.
I read a little monster.
is it Nikki Sparkles? She has written a little moss near the wall or a little moss on the wall. That would be cool just to age the wall a little bit, but I'm sure you would have thought of that naturally anyway. A bird on his knee.
A bird on his knee?
Yeah.
That's
Natalie
cool.
Poulin says a bird on his knee. A quiver of arrows. Gargoyle Mistress would like a quiver of arrows.
Quiver of arrows. Okay.
These are all good ideas, folks.
Here we go. All right. Here's the. Okay. Here's the quiver of arrows.
Yep.
Here's the little birdie on the knee. Here are the hills. He's on grass.
Yeah.
Can the crows have hats also?
4 arrows in the quiver. 4 arrows in the quiver. That's being very specific, guys. It's not a Disney deck. Yeah, no, I think that that's great. I'm not sure though. Do you think that the quiver should be leaning up against the wall, or should it be laying down near him, easy access? Like, what about the positioning? I'm just questioning that.
I would put it next to him because, like, when he's lying down and if he's like stopping, at least me, I just dump everything I have by me.
It's true. You wouldn't neatly stack it up against the wall. He is a man after all. No offense to the men. Like, it's all about practicality there. Yeah.
Because
I
you
think
can't
that's a
really.
good one. I think we could give him some gruffness, like as far as features go. Like, you're not going to see too much of him, but if he had a kind of Indiana Jonesy kind of, you know, feel to it, in a more ancient sense, you know, just someone who he's a little world weary, but in a good way, not in a necessarily a bad way. So how he would be dressed would be important.
Oh, I see how he dressed. Okay. I didn't really think of the dress, but I was thinking more like the jacket. Well, like he has a hat that's covering his face. So if you're looking, probably like a lot of the people who wear hats like that, if you're looking at the old ways, right, would be the people that are working in the fields.
Yeah.
To cover the sun. So they would be wearing like a white shirt and probably pants and boots, something like that. Fairly simple.
Yeah, something simple. I didn't want to I didn't want to tribalize it because it's more kind of almost westernized. It's a bit of a westernized sort of look.
Well, actually, in my country, in the rural areas, they wear the hats, you know, and it's not Western. They don't have any cowboys
so you're
there.
thinking more wide-brimmed hat, because you can do the wide-brimmed hat, which is a little callback to, say, like more Asian, you know, working in the fields in Asia and having those wide.
Yeah, I'm thinking they wear like they wear straw hats. That's what they wear.
Yeah.
They're straw hats. They make themselves, and they, you know. So if you're looking at to be more rustic, I guess he wouldn't be wearing the leather hat. You know, like I don't know, does Indiana Jones
or a beaver skin hat? Yeah. All right. No, straw hat would work really nicely there. Give him a little bit of is he going to be young or is he going to be older? Should we have
I don't think that you're going to see his face very much because it's covered. What you would see is probably some stubble, you know, on the cheek. Maybe you'll see a little bit of the nose or the lower part. I see it as a middle-aged man, honestly, not a young fellow, but that's just me.
Did you say young?
Middle-aged.
Middle-aged.
I see him as a middle-aged man, but
Little and Fab says that she's all for a couple of sexy cards. So can we make him a bit sexy?
You want to see muscles?
Not to objectify, but just to introduce an element of sexy.
Okay.
We have
Should I
all
try?
shapes and sizes. We have all shapes and sizes here. We have curvaceous women. We have young. We have old. We have sexy. We have humble. We have interesting, unique. You name it. We've got it. It'll be in here. Yes.
Okay. I'm writing this down. I'm seriously writing this down. Let's
Awesome.
see.
A little sexy. Sexy.
Okay. Sexy.
Have you read this? Open the shirt. Question mark. They're trying to sexify him now.
Oh, okay. All right. So. I
Like some unbuttoned buttons.
Oh my God, you guys are so bad. Oh.
Middle age is
So
still
when you
sexy.
get this card,
Deep
you get this
collar.
card, you'd be like, yes, I'm so happy to get this card. Give me
Gargoyle
the
Mistress
four.
says, I'm thinking of Alexander. What? Skarsgård in Tarzan.
Oh, okay.
We know why he's
She said-
tired.
Okay, so if there are any guys here, you can obviously see that we are very bad women.
We'll have to put a super sexy woman in there somewhere as well. Mind you, I think that everyone we've put in there is uniquely beautiful in their own way anyway. So, yeah, make him a sexy little something, something.
Okay,
Why not?
I wrote that
And then
down.
we have it. And then
Are
we
we
have it.
keeping
He
the-
did. What's that?
I do have a question. Well, this is a general question. I'm pretty sure of the answer,
Okay.
but I'm going to confirm. So we started off the ace with this kind of blue tone to it. I'm
Yep.
assuming that we're going to keep this throughout, whether it's we're going to keep the sky or the, give it this tone to the suit.
Yep.
Correct?
I would like to carry in almost like, you know how in the ace there's that stormy grey, bluey grey thing? I would like that storminess to stay very
Throughout.
present, and flashes of blue throughout, like very predominant, so that it has a little bit more cold steel to it, rather than, just really colourful and everything's like, there'll be times where like the black heart is going to be very dark, and then the rest card is going to be a lighter, but they are still going to be within the tones of blue and the theme that's already been set by the ace. I think that would
Okay.
be important to carry through.
Yep. So sounds good. So we have the we have the ace of swords done. We have the 2 of swords and the 3 of swords. We have 2, 3, and 4 of swords.
Yeah.
3
2,
cards.
3, 4. 2,
2,
3, 4.
2, 3, 4. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm putting
That
them.
was productive. That was a productive bash. I'm exhausted though. How about you, Anna?
I still have some tea, I think.
That's going to be cold.
Yeah.
Don't drink it. She drank it.
Yeah, I'm tired because my kids were sick yesterday. Well, they're better now, but everybody's
Oh,
good
that's a
now.
bummer.
And
Yeah, that's
I
why
also
I'm
have
tired.
taken on a puppy, and he's young, so he's like a 3rd child. So he wakes up early, and he needs to play, and he needs to be walked. So let's just say that I'm revisiting my early motherhood phase right now with the little puppy. So my sleep pattern is like totally like off.
Oh gosh, yeah. I had my little one end up in my bed last night. My husband was away; he gets back today, so it was just me, and I got up 11 times, 11
Ugh.
times, and my poor son coughing away. That's why I was a bit late on the broadcast, because I was was frazzled, and he was all feverish, and I had to make sure he was fed and fine and all that good stuff. So somebody put here, hang on, I just quickly read that, Bunny Kisses 1000, maybe the rugged sexy man. That's our four of swords now. The 4 of swords is no longer the 4 of swords, it's the rugged sexy man. It's the charred heart, the baby wearer, the feather, the baby wearer, the charred heart, and the rugged sexy man. Like, they've all got their own monikers.
Yeah.
They want him to be wearing a mala.
Right.
He would like him to be wearing some kind of a mala. But like malas, there's a cross-cultural something there, if there's a mala in there. Just saying, something to think about from a cross-cultural point of view. I'm wearing my malas right now. All right, folks. Well, we're exhausted and we've created our asses off. Anna more than me. She brings her A game. Thank goodness, because I'm only half there. So again, Bonestone is up for pre-order. There's 60 or so cards left. It might be less now. We're starting on the Suit of Swords, as you can see. We've completely finished the Major Arcana. We've added a 79th card to the deck, and that's to be tacked on after the in the Suit of the Mages, after the World card, and it's kind of the Seer, the Diviner, or in this case of this deck, it's the Bruja, and that is the Witch. And we're moving through the Suit of Swords now at a pretty good pace, I would say. And yeah, so it's looking very prominent, very positive. If you would like to join our Bonestone and Earthflesh Facebook group to see those cards and where we're up to and what we're doing, then please do so. We can be found on Facebook, Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot. Just Google it. There's the group. Press request to join, and we will accept you into the Bonestone tribe. And once again, just on a few notes that Anna has made, we will be uploading some low resolution images for reasons which we have explained in this particular live cast, but it is so that nobody has access to the full stream of high quality images to the point where they could, if they wanted to, be very malicious and then reproduce the deck. And so we're trying to avoid that by just throwing in a few random low res images there.
Yeah, because you can't
watermarking and
have all the cards. I mean, that's how people, and if they do, that's how people will know that it's a fake one, because they will have the very, very low quality res of one or more of the cards.
That's right. It's a thing. It is a thing. So thank you, beautiful souls. Thank you so much for joining us. This was an epic Bonestone Bash. Little high energy and then a little low energy from the both of us. We're very tired, but you know, I think it was a good hustle, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And please hit the little like button for this video to show your support of it, and let's keep growing and being awesome. And thank you so much for all your community support and your input. A lot of your ideas, as you can see, have been infused into this deck. And will continue to be infused in this deck if you continue to join us. So thank you for all the chat. Anna, would you like to say anything?
No, I just want to say thanks. I mean, you know, they do come up with very awesome ideas, and it's been really helpful. And, you know, it just helps to see that people are, you know, into it, and it drives you, you know, like as a creator, it really drives you, because sometimes you can go through phases where you're like, what do I do? You know, but when people kind of come and support you, it really makes it much more easier to develop something. And projects like these that are very big do, you know, need that juice kind of, you know, behind you.
That's right. I've got to say too that, you know, just echoing what Anna has just said, like we come up with ideas behind the scenes, and sometimes there's a lot of them. Sometimes we've got a lot of ideas to try and boil down into 2 or 3, you know, consecutively usable ideas. And then we need a panel of judges to try and decide. Hence the situations today where we've held up a couple of different options, because, you know, there is no, you need a tiebreaker kind of thing from time to time. And you guys are amazing soundboards. You are very inspiring. You really inject extra dimension, extra life into this deck, and it does feel very full and very loved as a result of that, of all that community input. And just to know that, you know, you have pre-ordered, or you're wanting to pre-order, or you're simply just here rooting the project on, it makes it better as a result of that. You know, your community support makes it better. And I've just got to say that I honestly do believe that Anna and I are the first people to ever create a tarot deck live. I don't think it's ever been done before. And this is proven to be a wonderful, wonderful exercise where it creates a sense of friendship and interconnectedness, and also great support for the deck. Like I can really get behind something that I can see being brought to life, you know. And it's like building a house. Like if you go there every day and you participate and you look, like you feel a part of it, you know, and that's exactly what's going on. So, is there more funnies?
Sorry, I'm like reading. I'm reading.
Oh, that's my felting. That one there, that's my felting. It's the green man. He's got horns. Bonding over a rugged, sexy man. Get over you guys.
All right.
All right. So much love.
Have a good night, guys.
Many
And
blessings.
morning to those of you who are overseas.
That's it. Or afternoon, because that's what it is for me. See you.
Yep.
Look after yourself.